Hello and welcome to the International 5 Qualifiers. This is the SEA region. We are into the playoffs, and this is the losers bracket. We've got a doozy for you. It is TnC versus Rave. We're already pretty far into the draft, so we're going to hop right into it. Hey, guys. I'm joined by Purge, Gods, Luminous. How y'all doing?
Great. Especially
Wonderful.
with that intro.
Wonderful. Yeah?
Yes, very good.
Yeah.
Not necessarily. I'm sorry, what? Go ahead.
No, go ahead, please.
I'm a little surprised to see Rave on the verge of elimination like this because they were a team that a lot of people thought would get the direct invite to TI. So it must be a tough road for them, especially because it looked like they were going to crush their group. I was feeling good for them. I was like, oh, they didn't get invited, but now they're going to win their group. They're pretty set. They're going to make it. And then that one best of one against Phoenix that they lost puts them in the worst possible position, as close to being eliminated as possible. That was just pretty heartbreaking for them, I think.
Yeah, this is going to be a tough road through the lower bracket if they want to qualify as the SEA representative. Even getting into the wildcard matches, they've got to win two best of threes to get there. So we'll see. It's some Pinoy Dota, though. This will be some fun, Lumi.
Yeah, I love Pinoy Dota.
Dude, TnC has been playing some crazy Dota as well. They have basically been the run-at-you team. I was watching them play their opening matches against Signature Trust, and the landing stage ended about a minute and a half into the game.
And they've targeted bans at TnC. The Bloodseeker has been a hero that's been very popular throughout the SEA qualifier, but especially for TnC. And they've also been running solo mid Juggernaut, maxing Blade Fury.
That was an amazing game where you just run at them.
Yeah.
The spin cooldown was 18 seconds at max level. So that means you could get in, spin, get out. Max healing ward actually makes a huge difference in fights, especially because a lot of the early game fights involving nuking them a bit, and then most of the damage actually comes from right click. And when you drop a level 4 healing ward, you're not killing anybody. So I'm not sure we're going to see it this game, but hopefully somewhere in the series, a solo mid Juggernaut's going to wow us.
I am sure we won't see it this game, though.
It is taken out.
I think this is the first time I've seen TnC play where they didn't first ban the Winter Wyvern, though. This is interesting to see. Maybe they just think that Rave don't play it.
Rave do not play. That's true. There's a lot of the SEA teams who do prioritize it, like CSW and Mineski also pick it from time to time. So
I feel like it's not that good right now. I would like to see a stat on it. I know they can't pull them up now, but I feel like the hero doesn't have a very high win rate. All the games that I've watched of Winter Wyvern, they've lost, I swear. It's potentially very good, but it's very situational what heroes it's good against. I think it's good against maybe Juggernaut because you can stop Omni Slash, but as a whole, it's a bit weird. Timber Sauce picked up for TnC. Very good Bristleback counter. Decent against Leshrac, I guess. Maybe not the best, but very good against Bristle because you reduce his max HP with your Whirling Death, and the pure damage is just going to cut right through him.
And the armor you get is actually really good against the Quills as well.
That's true.
I think Winter actually combos very well with Undying, especially in the laning stage. But few hero doesn't do well with Undying in the laning stage, so I guess that's a moot point. I have seen a lot of C team run offensive dual lanes with Arctic Burn being your initial opening spell, and you get to chase down a lot of heroes.
Yeah, and I looked it up real fast. Purge's assumption was correct. Winter Wyvern 1-6 across these SEA qualifiers, not doing the best.
That's bad. Is that below 50? That's below 50.
That's way below 50.
Yeah, I like him as a pub hero, but even if his ultimate was the previous ultimate, I still don't feel like he would be that good.
I think he was like at a good point, and then he got kind of over-nerfed maybe a little.
Yeah.
I feel like there was a lot of whining on Twitter by pros about him personally.
Yes.
They were
Just
like, "Oh, I
pub-
hate him in pubs." Like, yeah, it's a huge ultimate.
And this was like all the players who'd play like Troll every game or something maybe.
I mean, it was
like great against Troll.
It was legitimate top-level players, but they really thought the ultimate was overpowered. But I think the hero has a lot of weaknesses. I think he's a very cool hero. I honestly think the ult needs to be reverted, nerfed, because his win rate's not good. I think it was just they were scared. A lot of people were scared because his ultimate looked potentially really powerful.
Yeah.
Well, I think a big part of that is that a lot of teams rarely give him farm priority. He's your fifth support a lot of time.
Almost always, yeah.
I think that hero, if you look at Splinter Shot or Splinter
Blast.
Yeah.
Yes.
that is a amazing flash farming spell.
Very low cooldown.
You can do it with a Soul Ring.
Yeah, you give him a little bit of farming priority, he could actually give you a ton of late game items. But I guess we shouldn't really talk too much beyond that because I don't think he'll be in this game.
This is one of the few times I've actually seen Vengeful Spirit get like just not talked about in the bans phase and getting picked up fourth. This has been a big prioritization for these SEA teams, either picking or banning. So Vengeful Spirit, I think, fourth pick for Rave, they'll take it.
Yeah, Ninja Boogie played him the other day, and he played really well as a roaming. He wasn't just the, I'm going to sit behind you and swap. He actually moved around the map, level 1, 2, 3, 4, and he won the game for them. So probably will be something aggressive like that.
Here's the thing, though. Let's say you're playing a support for one of these teams. Undying's the other side. Your captain picks you Venge. Are you happy?
I don't think it's that bad. I mean, it doesn't necessarily counter anything specifically, but there's minus armor synergy with Bristleback and Vengeful Spirit. You have a reliable stun, which you can combo with Leshrac. You can save Leshrac. Leshrac's a little squishy if he gets chain stun. I think Venge is honestly fine for this draft.
No, I
Easy
mean,
Roches.
the thing is, when Undying drops the Tombstone, as a support player, you have very limited option. Right? You either all focus the Tombstone or you run.
Yeah.
There's especially as a Venge, like your
Venge
range
is
is
good
so
against
low.
that.
Yeah,
Well,
swapping your carry out from the Tombstone's not the worst.
it's not.
She damage amps your team. She's an agility hero, so she has decent attack speed.
And
I think she's okay.
Here's a TnC hero that's always banned by the enemy team at the second ban phase,
Solo
and it's finally
Clinks.
getting through.
Solo McClinks is coming your way.
Yeah.
It's good against Lush.
Yeah, they
Witch
love the
Doctor.
Clinks.
Witch Doctor, by the way, has been doing ridiculously well in SCA. It's like 80+% win rate, I think, in the SCA qualifier. It's every time I see this hero, it's been winning games.
Phoenix has
corroborate.
no, it wasn't Phoenix. It was Phoenix had a 100% win rate on that hero.
18-3, 86%.
That's so much.
Yeah.
Why is he winning so much? That's incredible.
It's so normally when you see win rates that insane, it's either there's a big differential between the teams that are picking him or the teams that are winning, on top of the fact that he's doing really well. So it's usually a multifaceted reason why the win rate's so
It's
high.
probably like Rave, Hot Six, and
Right.
Phoenix who are the main teams picking him.
Yeah,
but-
that's a good point.
It's kind of like how Nature's Prophet in 6.78 had a huge win rate spike at TI because Alliance just, if they got
Picked
him,
them
they
all the time,
almost
yeah.
won with him always.
Okay.
But that doesn't mean it's a bad hero or that the hero isn't already still really, really good. It just means that he's both.
I think he's weak against Clinks. That's definitely one thing.
Yes.
Because even if you dust Clinks, you throw the cask and he's going to get at least 300 movement speed or 300 units away from you before it lands. So positioning wise, I think they're going to be okay there. But if they can chain stun Clinks, they're going to be fine.
I think just it's one of the reasons is this SEA region has been so focused on this 5-man death ball pushing and fighting early, and Witch Doctor's honestly one of the better against that because not only does he have Meldic, which is great for versus 5-man, he's got good sustain in his heal, and the Coconut, if you've got a lot of enemies close around, it can be one of the better stunts in the games in terms of total duration. And we'll see the Weaver as the final pickup for Rave.
It's not good against Clinks, really.
Yeah.
That's weird.
It's actually not bad because Teehee always golds Deso first. He doesn't go Orchid.
Maybe he will.
So,
this game,
well, yeah, maybe, I guess. But I've never seen him do it.
I love Teehee, by the way. I've been watching him this entire qualifiers. He's really impressing me with his play. He's been the Bloodseeker player for them. He's been playing the solo mid Juggernaut. He's been picking up this Clinks and going for some kind of crazy builds. I think he's a nice breath of fresh air in the SEA scene in a lot of ways.
The SEA qualifiers as a whole has seen all kinds of some fun new unique picks
been
and
really fun.
strats. So looking forward to see if any of it kind of carries over to other regions. Although,
So, guys, do we think anybody won the draft straight out, or do we think it's pretty even?
I think it could go both ways. I don't know. It's hard to say.
I think laning wise, TnC have really strong heroes in lanes. I mean, that's what Undying does whenever you pick this hero. So Rave have vulnerabilities in the early game, but come mid game, they can make up for it.
I agree. I think TNC's got the better draft. Yeah.
All right, well, with that, guys, we're going to turn it over to our casters, Luminous and David Parker Gods. Take it away, guys.
Thank you very much. Here we go. Game 1 of best of 3 between two Filipino teams. Rave, of course, living in Korea and playing out of there for some time, but
How good is your Tagalog?
pretty iffy.
Okay.
Whenever I go to the Philippines, I polish up my few phrases that I know. Most of them involve ordering beer and talking to girls, but I normally forget them a few months later.
Okay, fair enough.
How good's yours?
DPM, if she knows I'm doing this. Hold that thought, because Shaker might be in a little bit of trouble. He's going to need a couple of stuns.
This, of all places for a level 1 fight, I have not seen before. They're contesting the secret shop, Lumi.
Well, maybe they're trying to get a deep ward. Actually, I think TNC love to do that. They like to ward beyond the secret shop. I have no idea why you want to ward that deep in that area early gone.
Rave, no.
They
did their homework.
waiting. All right, so no level 1 will be happening, but looks like we might see a fight here.
Yeah.
If a fight breaks out and Undying drops a tombstone on one of the ramps, it could
Well, you
get
go
pretty
Decay.
ugly. Okay, never mind.
level 1 Undying. I mean,
I've-
Decay's just as scary / more scary, though.
Yeah, depends on how many you hit. But looks like the rune is going to go on to...
Rave want to fight this one. They've got... Oh, no.
All right.
They're going to claim it. Top rune already TnC headed that way.
Okay, so what do you think about the mid matchup between Klings and the Lesh? Lesh obviously will spam magical, but Klings harass a lot.
Yeah, it's the creep block's going to be important, and well, the creep positioning in general, because if the wave's over on the hill of the Clinks, that's when Leshrac can get zoned out pretty badly.
I think because both players got the rune first, I think at least in broad theory crafting term, it favors Lesh because. Yeah, you're going to get harassed by the Klings, but you eventually will have bottle regen, whereas your Lightning is going to be a lot bigger bursts of harass, and Teehee, obviously on Klings, have much lower of HP pool.
Yeah. You throw a Lightning or two, and suddenly Klings can't be aggressive in trade hits, because Lesh will just say, well, you right-click harder, but you're lower HP to begin with, so I'll take this fight. Very dependent on the split Earth landing as to how that, whether there's kills or not. But I doubt we see any 1v1 matchup kills.
Are you surprised at all to see Undying being played as a quote-unquote defensive support?
The Undying had, what was it? I see it had like no starting items or something before. Yeah, he spent everything on the, courier, wards, etc.
Oh, wow.
Okay, this is
what Klings does, right? Like, at the very least.
Especially now,
yeah.
Before the Lightning Storm gets leveled up.
The thing is, when you pick an Undying, you generally say, okay, we're going to win at least one of the lanes. But when you play him as a defensive support, I don't know what you're going to do with that hero.
I remember seeing like AUI play that during the Summit 3, and there were a couple games. They won one of the 2 games he played it, but both games he looked very lost in the early game and was just roaming around, not really able to contribute too much.
Yeah.
I love Teehee's play here mid, though. He's just keeping Chrissy out of the lane. And that's where that creep equilibrium is really important. It's been on the Klinks' hill. Leshrac can't come near the wave.
Yeah. Normally, as a Leshrac, you want to use the lining on the last hit, for example, and then have it bounce onto the hero. But when Klings is on your hill like that, it makes things a lot more difficult. And Chrissy, not even close to that bottle. I think he needs to ferry himself a Salve.
Salve or Mortengos. Or
the thing
both.
is, even if he ferries himself a Salve, it doesn't help him win the lane. He's going to just eat more harass and then just take more damage.
He's going to go Genkin. I like... okay, he's not going to get the Lightning Storm.
Yeah.
And that's still just level 2 Leshrac. This is worrisome, this mid lane status right now. Klinks has Aquila 14 CS to the Leshrac's 3 CS. I think Chrissy is maybe... I mean, not a matchup you normally play, but I think he's probably executed and played this mid matchup quite poorly, just because he's not comfortable with it.
So one thing I'd like to see actually from Rave, maybe give a little bit of farm priority to one of the support, or have either Weaver farm a quick medallion into Solar Crest. A little bit of harass here, but Magic Missile will hit. He should be fine under the tower.
Yeah. Tried to time it so that it would cancel the chain immediately, but hard to do so since there's travel time.
So I think Solar Crest is going to be very important and necessary against Klinks, especially if he goes for the Deso build. You cut down a lot of his DPS. And obviously, when you're on the dire side, having Bristleback, Venge, and Solar Crest means you're going to get Roshan very easily. But I wonder if Weaver or maybe Venge will pick it up.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of a natural for the Venge to pick. I guess Weaver, you don't really want to be committing your safe lane farm, especially with Leshrac doing this pull. If your Weaver's going for a small item like Medallion, I think it puts you in a rough spot later on when Weaver's item progression is slowed down because of it. But taking Roshan's going to be a key part of the Rave lineup with Bristleback and Venge together. And Bristle in the off lane, so far, pretty decent. 8 CS. It is a dual lane, though, with the Witch Doctor. The Fissure comes through with the Tombstone. The block complete. Gyrocopter now going to the other side with the Rocket Barrage, and Rio in a lot of trouble. That heal, not going to do enough. Even 2 points in the homing missile. Slightly unconventional, very unconventional Gyrocopter build. Helps secure a kill.
Yeah, why do you think he's leveling that up?
I would personally prefer to see the flak, but I think they had that kill without the homing missile, just with Rocket Barrage alone. Normally you'd see 2-0-2 at this point and go max Rocket Barrage with flak, but I imagine he's going to be getting a drums, boost up his mana pool, maybe even pick up a bottle and use it for the early 5v5. Like, just these teams love to fight and push early, especially TnC, and it just gives them maybe a better fighting tool.
Yeah, it's like you said, it's going to be an indication of a much earlier fight. And a difference of playstyle. Fissure is going to block again, and it's going to hit that homing missile now coming in handy. Rio's going to give up another kill. Well, this lane is done.
Yeah. Absolutely. TnC. And that is a bottle on Gyrocopter, so that's helping sustain his mana. He can go get runes every now and then if he wants, or just pass the bottle to a support who ventures off, so... Ninja Boogie trying to make something happen here with all the lanes falling apart. Even the offlane Timbersaw is getting CS and farm.
Lightning for the slow. Dust will actually review and make the magic missile hit, and they will get the kill. The TP in from Earthshaker. This
DD
Earthshaker,
Totem.
yeah, has done so much work. I believe every time I've seen AU play Earthshaker, it's just always on point.
Yep.
2 Fissure blocks so far, a TP rotation, and he's one of the few support Earthshakers that ganks his way to a Blink Dagger. To me, that's a true hallmark of a well-played ganker or roamer. When you gank your way up to a huge item like Blink, you're playing really, really well.
Yep. So we TP back to lane, and Earthshaker will get bottled back up. So he's got more fissures to work around with at the moment. Sam H in the top lane has got all the experience he needs. He's got bottle, can pick up some boots soon. This is like ideal position for your off lane Timbersaw to be in.
How many bottles do they got on TnC? Does
They were-
Clinks have one?
I
'Cause
don't know
Gyro
if the
has
Clinks
one.
does. I think, okay,
Okay.
just 2. The Earthshaker has one. I'm not sure. Did he buy that himself, or is that pulled over? They're going to gank up Ninja Book in the mid lane. and-
Another kill?
Wow, another easy kill.
Yeah, Earthshaker's got one too, so...
Yeah, they've got the 2 bottles here. Earthshaker was... it wasn't a Gyrocopter bottle. It was just the Earthshaker
Okay.
pulling in bottle charges at bottom.
I'm a big fan of Earthshaker getting bottle. Sure, Arcane is much better for the team, but the way that he's playing, he's very active over the map, so I think it suits his playstyle more.
Tombstone just a farm here. TnC just looking to kind of hit those early game timing items, I imagine, and want to get up and start pushing towers as soon as possible.
Yeah, so I think what TnC's early game goal is, you start removing those T1 towers. Klink's obviously very good for that. And once those T1 tower goes down, it allows Klink's greater access into the enemy jungle. And I think well-played Klink's generally lives in the enemy jungle, right? You dark pack the big creeps, you start walking around the map, snipe couriers, pick off supports, and even chorus, because Leshrac is going to be so tanky. With the dust, you could start harassing Weaver. You're not going to get the kill, but you're going to force time lapse and make sure that he's not getting farmed.
Yep. So for now, Rave still lurking around this mid lane with the Leshrac, who has a haste room, but on his own, Chrissy, I'm not going to be able to find a kill on Tiki, I imagine, very easily. He's going to come in from the side looking for the stun. Hits the Lightning Storm into a stun. Has some follow-up Pulse Nova damage, but not going to go for it.
Good harass. But it seems like Klinks is fine at this point. He has ultimate, so if he's low health, you can always just dark pack a big creep.
Yeah.
But looks
free
like
heal.
he's starting to roam. And I think once you're level 7, especially when you have power treads, you could already start solo killing supports.
Damage output this early on. 130
Yeah.
plus damage coming out from the Clinks. Just the 1 point in strafe, all you need. And in this case, maybe just solo killing Rio. You throw a homing missile at him, and if he doesn't run back to his tower at that point, he's done for. Only 1 point in the Bristle passive as well. Although, I like Bristle playing this defensively, even with Earthshaker showing in mid lane.
Well, Dark Pack, I believe, is running out soon, so that should be the gank. Yeah. I mean, I think this is what we're going to see from TnC, a lot of early game pressure just from the Clinks running around. What do you think Rave needs to do? Because to me, their laning stage has gone fairly poorly. Bristleback losing bottom, and they dedicated the Witch Doctor there as well, these creeps.
Nice.
Little ham. And mid hasn't gone well either, right? You expect Lesh to at least come even, but he's died like once or twice.
Let's say I don't think they have any option to really team fight or even go for ganks easily. If they go for ganks with like the Venge, Leshrac, Witch Doctor, if it doesn't work, they end up even further behind. So I feel like stacking, farming is maybe the way to go, at least for the next 3 or 4 minutes until you pick up some core items.
Yeah, so I think the only thing Rave can do at this point is make sure that they get those key counter ganks in. Make sure Venge and perhaps Leshrac have teleport scrolls. If anybody dives under the tower, punish him for it. That's about that's all they could do.
And I think if TnC group up as 5, you just counter push other lanes. There's
Yeah.
no way you can really fight into them. Everyone's a bit under level. Just level 5 on Bristleback. He wants to farm that Ancient stack up, but can't really do so easily until he's level 7.
There's a TP up top, by the way, by the Clinks. I just want to point out that for the past 2 minutes, he has not been in lane. And when you play this kind of active ganking kind of style carry, that's how you should play it. Every time you're off the map, Rave is just scared.
Yeah.
Even though he doesn't have Orchid or Desolate or anything like that, a single stun, and looks like they're going to make a dive against Ninja Boogie, he's going to try to TP out, no chance.
Let's say the only way out was like they would have to preemptively TP,
TP,
with a couple of heroes there, and Weaver has no defensive capabilities. They don't even have a good hero to TP in apart from maybe Witch Doctor, but then you've got 2 squishy supports against a Clinks Timbersaw. That's going to end badly.
Well, 4 heroes for TnC up top. Chrissy will take the chance to start edicting this tower, which is actually a pretty good, I guess, fortunate event for Rave, because they definitely want to get as much tower down as possible. Rio farming this big Ancient stack.
Just with the level 3 quills, but we'll see. Fissure come in mid lane. Chrissy probably on the right side of it, and he's going to turn around and get the kill. Earthshaker. Klink's getting zoned out by the Fissure, then the TP out. Nicely played by Leshrac.
We'll take that freebie,
Yeah.
because Rave is quite behind. Although with that Ancient stack being finished, Bristleback's kind of right back in this game.
Yeah, get into it. I feel like this Weaver pick, though, as a last pick, I mean, it's easy to say now it's not matching up well against Timbersaw, but it's hard to see Weaver having a high impact in this game.
Well, if you look at just on the draft alone, there's very little things that could deal. Oh. Okay, he drops really low. Like, once he gets sufficiently farm in the mid-game, there's really little ways to stun him and kill him. Perhaps because Rave knows that Klings doesn't generally go Orchid, so they could safely make that pick. But like we pointed out during the drafting stage, he could easily pick up the Orchid, and that makes Weaver's life much more difficult.
Well, see, Klings, you kind of mentioned it, just set up shop in the enemy jungle, and he's doing just that right now. There's Death Pact available, and has picked up a quarterstaff, so it will be an Orchid build-up for once.
One of the rare ones, and the reason that he doesn't generally make this purchase, with the Deso money buff, you could get it in like 12 minutes. And that is so good for, you can start backdooring T1 towers if you like, if you know their glyph is down.
Yep. Just doing all the small things right. Like, he would go to Soul Ring, then go to Int Treads afterwards, and then use Death Pact. Like, you can see he knows what he's doing with this Klings.
Yeah, you kind of have to do that with Klings because his mana pool is so bad. And you have so many costly spells.
Yeah.
But looks like we're going
Even with Soul Ring, he's currently sitting on...
no mana.
Yeah, absolutely nothing. So, doing all the efficiency thing. Gyrocopter does not get scattered out by the wave of Tetra. As Rave now apply pressure at the bottom tier 1, kind of avoiding the group up and push of TnC. Although TnC are not entirely grouped up. That was just 2 heroes pushing top. They've got Gyrocopter down bottom, Earthshaker nearby. And looking to apply some defense on this tier 1. They actually gave Earthshaker mid lane for some time. So this Earthshaker is level 7 and actually has an okay amount of farm. 1,400 gold this early on an Earthshaker is pretty big.
Yeah, I think he had about 2 minutes of free farm. Jo now pressuring the mid tower as well. He's gonna, well, force out Glyph and have to be forced away. Tower should be denied. But I think Rave is playing really well despite the pressure that TnC has been putting on them. They have actually done a lot of damage to these T1 towers. I think a lot of other team would have just sat next to their own T1 and basically lost their tower top for free. But they're doing a good job pressuring TnC in their own way.
Yep, they grouped up as 5. Down bottom, Rave kind of want to go for a push here, but here comes the defense. Call down with a fissure. They're going to go on Leshrac. Chrissy getting slightly healed up from behind. Nice cast comes in from the Witch Doctor from the side. The call down, though, doing so much work. In goes the Earthshaker, and with the Echo Slam, gets a nice insta-kill, but pays for it with his life. And the Gyrocopter Rocket Barrage going to get pushed back as in comes the Weaver. Will bring down Gyrocopter. Jao's still alive, low on HP. Teehee gets one on the Bristleback. The buybacks come in, but they've lost Weaver as well. Klink's doing a lot of damage, but pays for it with his life. And a bloody mess here in the bottom lane. There's a 4-for-3 trade with Leshrac buying back. And gold advantage goes Rave's way. This also looks like them getting a tier 1 tower.
Yeah, this is a pretty hasty buyback, and it's a good thing that they will get a tower out of this, because if they don't, I don't think that was worth the buyback. A big win? Well, actually, is it a win, though? Because Rave lost all 3 of their core.
It was still a good, like, 1,000 gold advantage, as well as now a tier 1 tower. So as far as net worth goes, absolutely. And I think, I mean, their supports can do a bit with farm, so I'd say overall it's fine, because TnC lost their cores as well.
Yeah.
They lost Klinks and Gyrocopter.
I think with the Shaker winning, or being the survivor in that fight, I want to say that edges TnC, because once he gets blinked, these fights become a different matter.
Shaker was the first to die on TnC.
Oh, was he? Okay.
Yeah.
He came back and started farming, but he's very close to that blink.
I think it was the Gyrocopter, the one who, the Timbersaw one, sorry, who survived the fight. Oh no, Undying hasn't died this game. Yeah. All right. So everyone died except for the 5-position support at this point. 7 seems to be playing the hard support. With that said, he's actually got at least bare basics. 1, boots, headdress. And we'll see how things progress from here. But it is TnC with the 2 top net worth heroes.
Looks like we're seeing a gank up top.
It's a value
rune.
rune.
He does not have Echo Slam.
Has 3 points in passive, though, so they can chain stun Weaver with 2 spells. Klinks has used Death Pact as well.
Should be a kill. Strafe, right click. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. Well executed.
Are they going for a Roche, is the question?
No
Looks
medallion
like
yet.
Yeah. Venge has a Sage's Mask on his shop, so I think that's going to be the play.
Oh, they're going to find Gyrocopter here. They come in close here. The goo to slow him down, and there's a Death Ward. Leshrac Lightning Storm. Swap back as well. No TP rotations from TnC. Not that it would have changed anything, so they keep the pressure up towards the mid and the top lane.
All right.
There's Earthshaker Blink.
Blinks up. I imagine Klinks is fairly close to the Orchid as well. Yeah.
This
So-
is very different to what most teams do with Earthshaker, giving him this much farm priority, but I really like to see TnC do this. It just helps Earthshaker do so much more in a fight when he has a fast Blink.
Yeah, not only as Jo, not only do you have to worry about the Orchid now, you also have to worry about Blink Echo initiation, because that plus another stun is going to get you killed. But the sneaky Roshan with that medallion is going to be pretty effective.
Yeah. Radiant Vision, not their forte right now. They've been moving around the map a lot and just using heroes to scout, but their actual warding is somewhat lackluster.
This is huge for Jo, considering that Orchid is about to be online. I think Rave is actually, again, doing very well despite the ton of early game pressure. I'd like to see Kling's doing a lot more backdooring than he's currently doing, but I think he's much more focused on controlling hero, and you can see that the Orchid is going to help a lot with that as well.
Cool. Clicks in Earthshaker, maybe look for a kill at top lane.
Yeah, Chrissy's going to be dead. If he steps forward for this farm. Actually, I think they get him regardless. Blink Fissure is all they need. Blink, Enchant, Chrissy, taking a ton of damage. That point booster normally very helpful in surviving, not this case.
Secure it with the Echo Slam and yeah, just keep you out from AU, so no messing around. So from here, the Orchid comes online, and this makes things a lot more dangerous for Rave.
Yeah, so given how the Klinks has been playing, I think the maxing homing missile on Drow might actually come back and bite them, because generally at this point you want to have max flat cannon and a big ancient stack, and because Klinks is creating so much pressure, it allows your Gyro to farm safely in the jungle, but that's not what we see. What we see is Gyro getting ganked previously, and he doesn't have those ancient stack. I think this game might develop into something like a 40-minute game, and if so, if Gyro does not keep up his item progression.
It doesn't feel like that's what TnC want. They wouldn't be fighting early and now.
Right, but it's not like they're grouping up. My point is, Klinks is doing very well at fighting, but you're fighting for a reason, right? I think normally you fight for the Klinks, or you fight for Gyro getting free farm, but it seems like they just want to fight as 5, which is, I guess, what you're saying.
Yeah. Normally TnC's games have ended much shorter compared to the other SEA teams, but we'll see if they can make it happen here. Rave have started to pick up their core items here. Bristleback with his Treads Vanguard, Weaver sitting on 6k net worth, Leshrac similarly, so all 3 cores in an okay position. And Bristleback going to take up even more as he picks up an Ogre Club as well.
Alright, here comes that 5-man push that we were saying. And when you have Teehee hitting your tower with Strafe, the backup of a Tombstone, it's very difficult to defend.
Yeah, Tombstone and a Blink Earthshaker. He may not have Echo Slam at the moment, but can just use that Fissure defensively, so Bristleback runs at you can kind of reset and get in a good position once more.
So if you're watching TnC for the first time, why would you think that they're so effective and winning so many games? Is it just the pressure that they do in the laning stage, or are their rotation just that good?
I think they're really good at team fighting, in the mid game especially. They'll 5-man up with unconventional heroes, less so unconventional, but more heroes you don't expect to be fighting a lot. They'll go at you with the Juggernaut with Max Blade Fury. The Timbersaw has been a hero they picked multiple times throughout, and just team fight and pick fights really well. Whereas other teams, I think, have been expecting them maybe to have 2 to 3 heroes rotating while their main carry farms, but TnC involve their main carry and their mid farmer a lot more than other teams. Yeah,
and their support.
They never have that one hero off farming like your conventional teams do. Like in the Chinese qualifier, it'd be like 3 to 4 heroes going off fighting, creating space for one hero who's kind of left on their own.
Yeah. With that said, though, it seems like Rave is getting more and more used to this Klinks roaming around. They have Sentry Ward down in very key position. For example, the mid lane protecting the Shrek. And now they're not really in their jungle 1 by 1. With that said, Chrissy now is in the jungle by himself. He is going to go down. Well, there's a defensive swap. Yeah. And the Orchid should not be able to get a kill.
Nice and tanky with the soul booster. Picked it up even before getting the Soul Ring, which is not what you'd normally see, but prioritizing getting HP up.
So what's next for Teehee? Probably a Deso? Or do you think he's going to go for crits?
Ooh, I think the Deso is still pretty valuable.
Is BKB a necessary thing in this game as well?
The main other item you could maybe consider is the Blink Dagger. I don't know, how do you feel about, do you think he needs a, like, would that actually help him finish off some of these kills and move around the map?
It will definitely help him get the kills. I'm not sure if that's what the team needs. I think if you're going 5-man pushes, the Deso is obviously much better.
Yeah. I think Deso makes a lot more sense as far as their playstyle goes. You don't need an MKB for any evasion yet. that doesn't come till much later on. So
With that said, though, if you get Blink, you could play very cocky against this Rave squad. What is actually going to stun you? If you, let's say you could Blink perfectly, Magic Missile and Cask is not going to get you. So I think any item you get has merits. It just depends how he wants to play.
yeah, BKB for safety is still a valid option against a
But
less track anytime.
are these the safety boys? I'm not sure if they are. Like the way they're playing is.
Well, we'll find out. TnC, I don't think they just want to sit back and farm right now.
Yeah,
Looks like
this favors what Rave wants to do. They got the Weaver, and he's gone for a very defensive build.
even Bristleback, he's not quite reached that fighting shape yet. He wants either his BKB or SMY. And Timbersaw has Bloodstone, so it feels like right now, TnC, a lot of their heroes are going to reach the top of their early to mid-game power curve and want to be fighting. This is where Klinks has Orchid, Earthshaker has Blink, Timbersaw has Bloodstone, Gyrocopter has... I guess Gyrocopter's the one hero... Yeah, he has Cold Down, he has Drums. He's okay. That's the one item they may be missing across all 5 heroes is the Gyro BKB. But Rave can benefit a lot more as far as items that are coming up soon for them.
Yeah, I think TnC, or in terms of how this game goes, I think Rave is about to reach their power peak in the mid game, and I think it's going to be stronger than TnC. But if it goes late enough, I think TnC has a lot of viable late game option. If, for example, Sam H gets his Aghanim and then gets Ocarine Core, he's just jumped into 5 and he's dead. Probably not.
Oh dear. Bloodstone?
Yeah.
No. Won't even get it off.
Well, I guess Rave will also take that freebie. I'm not sure if they could push T1 off of this, though, because you're still pushing into Tombstone and Call Down, and they're going to back off.
If they're pushing top, it's to like try and pressure and force rotations. If they see 4 heroes defending top, they'll quickly just rotate out and go farm lanes.
All right, BKB's up on the... Oh. Chrissy's going to get silenced immediately. Defensive swap has to be used. TP's going to come in right now as well.
They waited way too long. He's going to go down anyways. Now the Klinks in the front line doing a lot of damage. Timbersaw's back and looking to chase on down the Witch Doctor. Coconut's bouncing around. Ninja Boogie's trapped in the backlines. We brought down by Undying. Zombies, fissures, everything working against him. And now Timbersaw redeems himself from his previous misplays. He gets his team an additional kill on the Witch Doctor.
Did he buy back for that, or did he just respawn it?
I think it was the Bloodstone, yeah.
Okay. Which actually makes up for the previous losing Bloodstone. So that's pretty big for them. What has Weaver done since then? I think he just like pushed a couple waves.
Mid-tier 1 tower got denied some time ago, but yeah, he's just been pressuring lanes. He picked up BKB, but doesn't have a whole lot of killing power with this in a team fight. I feel like while Weaver can stay alive in a team fight, it's not going to be really comparable damage to what Klinks is doing. And he can't just stand there right-clicking if Klinks is on him.
Okay, so normally this is the time where you see Weaver go straight to Desolator. Do you want him? Do you think that's a better choice than going something like a little bit non-standard like Butterfly, simply because it gives you the evasion against Teehee?
I don't think Butterfly's enough damage for him.
It's 60. Oh, compared to Deslo, it's like... How much is Deslo? Deslo's like a lot more, right? With the minus armor applied.
Yeah.
Yeah.
50 damage. Minus
Plus
7
the-
armor.
yeah.
Butterfly's just a big jump as well. Like I feel like by the time you get Butterfly, you may have lost
Klinks
a
might
fight
have
or two.
finished
and
MKB by then too,
Yeah.
so it depends.
You're gonna be losing fights, maybe losing a tower or two during the build up towards the Butterfly.
Yeah. Again, that's why I think Solar Crest is such a big part, because your support could get it for you. You could worry about damage.
Yes. Yeah. Throw the Soul Crest on whoever Klinks is trying to focus down. That's going to be, I guess the Venge who's had the medallion would be ideally be looking for that Solar Crest as soon as possible.
I also think that this is a great disarm game for Bristleback, but he's gone for the SNY, which is a fine item choice.
I feel like I've often thought that, but like there's games that I cast a game earlier with Purge, and like Bristleback went that, but then his late game suffered because he suddenly spent 4,000 gold on this item, which isn't really the best fighting item.
I guess it also depends on the lineup, but I think this game having physical damage evasion is a big deal.
Yes.
Obviously, right now, Gyro is dealing mostly magic, but eventually he'll be hitting physically.
And there we go. Klinks does go Desolator, picks it up now, and this is a scary timing. This is where I feel like Weaver going for a Butterfly is just maybe a bit too long-term projected when TnC are not going to let it get... If it gets to that stage of the game, TnC are making plays to have a big lead by then.
Ooh, BOT on Timber. Obviously, BOT with Bloodstone quick respawn, you could kind of get back in the fight. Kind of what we saw in the previous engagement. But do you think this is something... This is good for... Is this better than Blink, is what I'm trying to say. Because Blink could kind of get you into the middle of everything, allows your Undying as well as Clings to run in without impunity?
I think it's fine. I think it's pretty standard, and it helps deal with other problems, like when they're trying to 5-man push. If Rave are pushing out another lane, they have someone who can just push out a problematic lane and then TP in to join the team. Whoa, big blink, Echo Slam, Fissure doesn't get the follow-up. Hit the totem though, and Rave get blown to smithereens.
Yeah, huge
by
fight.
that.
Not only for the great initiation, but also for the timing, because Roshan is spawning in just a bit. And if TnC gets a Rosh, in fact, they're not done yet. They're going right onto Chrissy. Here comes Sam H as well. No trees for him to actually get into. Fissure will actually block the Bristleback out. And Clinks is outputting so much damage. He's still running away, though. They need a little bit more slow, and the shotgun will not hit. TnC drives them away. And I think
Have given
Roshan...
time. Rosh is back,
Yeah,
but
and there's a double damage right in front of the pit, so Clinks is going to clean that up very quickly.
Rave will have 5 back alive very soon, since they did chase much further along, but still, they can push out these tier 2 towers, ward up, and can protect themselves to go for Roshan. Definitely will be eyeing off that DD rune.
All they need is to have Undying maybe into the pit to tank for the Clinks, and Clinks will just kill it by himself.
When you're fighting at Roshan, you throw a Tombstone on the high ground. Timbersaul's also going to be on the high ground. The positioning here is very hard to fight. He's going to preemptively Tombstone and just say good luck. They bring it, not to mention how fast they bring it down.
Yep, Jarrow's going to pick it up, I think. Okay, Jarrow's going to pick it up. There's still a double damage on Clings. I'm not sure if you want to fight into this. Although Timbersaw is trapped on the high ground. Call down will come off cooldown once again. They will get away from the Witch Doctor Death Ward.
Timbersaul's he's missed like he missed 2 Timber Chains to get down,
Does he have
unfortunately.
TP? Oh, he has BLTs, right? So he should be fine.
Yeah.
Jo using his BKB to chase, but look at the damage output. 2 crits in a row, and it's out of the fight, or forced to be out of the fight. On the back line, Rio trying to go for the kill, and Klink still doing work. BKB Gyro on the front line. He finally gets onto the low ground, gets 1 kill, and looks like the Witch Doctor is dead for sure. Yep, that's going to be a triple kill on Teehee, and I think they're going to start looking for high ground right now.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
These 3 heroes, long respawns, 0 buybacks, and with the Desolator, they push very quickly.
Yeah, they need Lightning to hold this push. I think they're going to lose the tier 3 tower for sure. The question is, are they going to lose the range racks or something like that?
I think they could definitely get the melee racks, but again, melee racks not really a big claim. They want to go for the melee one if possible.
The range one.
Yeah.
The range versus melee, yeah. Well, Klinks, he's not using the strafe yet.
Maybe holding on for it.
Oh, there you go, that's the strafe. It's good to hold on to the fight, but I think it's just force them to engage into you when you have the strafe. And they'll back off for now, which is a very safe
so
choice.
far ahead now. This is looking very difficult to turn around, and Rave just don't have the team fight to match up to, like especially around Roshan, fighting into the Tombstone and the Earthshaker. AU's had some amazing fishes as well. So many times he's just used it just to block off chases from the Bristleback especially. That fight he saved the Undying just by blocking in the Radiant jungle, and it's been very tough for Rave to maneuver in these fights.
Yeah, so to kind of summarize what has happened for the past 2 minutes, Klinks has taken down a T2 tower, got the Roshan, got a triple kill in the fight after that. So he's looking at 3,500 gold. I think at this point you just pick up a BKB, and suddenly there is no answer for the Klinks. You could start leading your team by doing high ground pushes, or you could... I don't think you need to keep playing the way that he has been playing, which is, you know, sitting in the jungle, start ganking. I think you're strong enough to just command a big push up to the mid lane.
No. And Rave, this is not looking good. This is an elimination match here in the SEA qualifiers. And there's the Blink Dagger you mentioned on Timbersaw. So he goes back and completes the Boots of Travel and Blink Dagger. As Klink suddenly has a BKB out of nowhere. He just picked up Deso like 3 to 4 minutes ago.
They won 2 big fights in a row, so...
This is...
He's got the gem, too. I really like that. Now it makes... Because what Rave has done an excellent job is been littering sentries everywhere all over the map, which, by the way, has cost a bunch of gold on the support. But those sentries will not do much of anything now.
Yeah. Venge just seeing on 2k net worth, Witch Doctor and Poverty Town as well. Meanwhile, on the Radiant side, you've got a 7k net worth Earthshaker and even Undying looking pretty good. Of course, taking all the towers, taking Roshan makes a big difference there, but TnC just ready to kind of continue and push once more. Down the mid lane we go.
All right, how good is Wave's high ground defense, apart from Lightning? I'm not sure if it's
pretty
good enough.
average.
Yeah.
I mean, Wave of Terror doesn't really do much anymore.
Well, Bristleback is going to try to sit in the front line, but Kling's just going to walk up. He's got BKB. He's not afraid of anything. Strafe is going to get activated. Cast is going to get flown out. You might have to swap him into the base T. He has BKB, though. He's taking a ton of damage. Great chain stunning here by Rave, but they've lost the melee racks already. Called down, zoning about everybody out. Force out. Oh, is that a Blink Echo? No.
This is just game over. They just lost 3 more heroes and mid-racks.
That's
Rave
GG.
are going to call it 30 minutes, a bit longer than some of TNC's other games, but they just handily take out TnC. Take out Rave in game 1.
Yeah, it felt like the Witch Doctor and the Vengeful Spirit had no impact apart from the laning stage. In fact, I don't think the Witch Doctor did anything. They lost the lane as well, right?
Yeah, Witch Doctor was in the bottom lane to help secure a bit of CS for the offlane, and meanwhile, top lane, Venge couldn't zone out Timbersaw. Timbersaw had 100% of creep XP, and even okay farm.
I think something that Brian pointed out about Witch Doctor, he's excellent when the cast gets it bounced around, but when you're dealing with heroes that's so mobile, like the Clinks, as well as Timbersaw, he's coming in from the side, it's difficult for that cast to do his magic.
Yep. We've got Purge back with us. Purge, game 1, wrapped up.
All right, so I thought a lot about the draft, and I thought about what did they do to counter this, because what TnC is doing is something that most teams aren't touching. It's they're playing a ganking heavy mid hero, and it's kind of similar to Ricky Maru. A lot of people always ask me, like, why doesn't anybody play Ricky in competitive? It's because he's kind of a ganking carry, similar to Clinks, and if your ganks don't go well, it's dangerous. But what TnC did was that they put their impact heavy support hero on the mid farm very early, like you guys pointed out with the Earthshaker. And we've been seeing a lot of Earthshakers being played in offlane because they say, oh, it's really good if you get a fast blink dagger, but they're doing it in a support role, so they're greeding more than what most teams are doing, and they're getting away from it. And I think the vulnerability here is that the TnC was able to put a very safe carry in the safe lane, and it's a hero that can very easily deal with the offlane heroes. If it's like a Drow Ranger or something, you're weak, but if it's a Gyrocopter, it's really strong. So I think what Rave needs to do is make sure that TnC has a bit weaker of a tri lane if possible. If they can draft around that, they'll be in a better place, because then when the Earthshaker roams to mid and the Clinks is moving around the map, they can continuously kill the carry. And I think that's where the linchpin is. All their lanes were very safe, and as a result, they got away with this ultimate greed where the Clinks was roaming and he created space.
The other thing, it doesn't even feel like the Clinks roaming was high risk. Well, it wasn't high risk in the sense that if he didn't find kills, he was still getting some farm because he's farming jungle.
Jungle's
he's farming
very
the
fast.
enemy jungle too at that. So they were just being super efficient over the map. Undying was farming the 2 pull camps, using Tombstone to even farm. Their early game efficiency was just completely outclassed Raves.
It's one thing to say that they need to put more pressure on the safe lane, but it's harder to do in reality because of the Undying pick.
Gyro Undying.
Good
luck.
It's hard to, like, at the beginning I was questioning, it's like, hey, you're using Undying in a defensive lane, that doesn't do anything, but I guess if it's not doing anything, that's the point, because the enemy team can't do anything either.
Yeah.
And you have the Clinks running around. You guys are saying that he's farming the enemy jungle. A big part of that is also it's preventing the enemy jungle from being stacked. Because if Clinks finds the stacks, okay, I'll take it. Thanks for stacking.
Yeah.
So I think it really limits what Rave could do in multiple facets, both in laning and their mid-game rotation. So, you know, I said that Venge and Witch Doctor couldn't do anything. It's not because they play poorly. It's because when the Clinks is running around, it limits a lot of what Venge and WD could do. So very well played.
The laning and laning terms, that's something that we've seen a bit different for some of the qualifiers. For EU, for example, they ban a lot of really strong laning heroes, like Gyrogo's first ban. In the C, that hasn't been touched. It's more been like combo picks, like Bloodseeker, maybe some Undying, but largely they say ban out the strats. But I think this is a perfect example of a game where you needed to ban laning heroes, because TnC completely abused it, especially because they got the Lesh counter in the mid lane with the Clinks. Like, that wasn't, I don't think that was really Chrissy playing it bad. He just actually couldn't trade hits with somebody that's 30 bonus damage with 1 skill point, and he has low armor. Like, he maybe he needs to go fast bottle build instead of the null talisman is maybe what he should do. But with the delayed bottle build, like, he couldn't do anything to return for it. You need to join the lobby, by the way, Lumi.
Oh.
Game 2 coming up fast. All right.
I think it was just too many things were not matched up for Rave there in the draft. Like the one-on-one, he got out-farmed, obviously, because he got properly zoned. That's like something you see in pubs. It was so weird to see, like, wow, Chrissy's a really good player, and he actually just can't come up to the creep wave, and that's a hero matchup issue.
I think part hero matchup and also just like the creep equilibrium. Like, no one was blocking initially his creep wave because he went for the rune. That's where you normally see a support block while the mid takes the rune. Maybe just pushed out the first wave a bit too much. So maybe there was something.
When Clinks is shooting at you from below the hill versus him being on your hill and shooting your way, it's a different thing.
That's true.
So I wonder if it's also worth it to get a point in Edict just to say get away, but I'm not sure about
Clinks can kind of kite around Edict, I think.
That's why
hard to say,
It's like it's not significant. It's
Stun Edict build, screw Lightning Storm.
Well,
I mean, that was the old school Leshrac, where you used to max Edict.
I'm just wondering, like,
Yeah.
your Clinks, right? You're walking up the lane, and then suddenly you're getting hit by Edict. Do you just, like... And you don't know what point of Edict it is. It could be
Yes.
2, it could be 1. Do you just,
Yeah,
like,
I
YOLO,
mean,
let's keep hitting, or do you back up? I don't know.
He's on him at level 1. Leshrac was only level 2,
Yeah,
so
yeah,
it's
okay.
like 9 damage, and it'll be triggering fast. It's not going to equate to more than 2 or 3 right clicks.
If he had a 1-1, if he had like a 1 and stun, 1 and Edict build, and Clinks goes on top of his hill.
Because Clinks had Strafe at level 2. He had Strafe Missile. Nobody's going to beat that in a 1v1, I feel.
I think it's more of the laning equilibrium than anything else. Yeah.
No. All right. Well, that's game 1, guys. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we've got game 2 of the lower bracket round 1 between TnC and Rave. We'll see if Rave are getting knocked out of the SEA TI5 qualifiers or if they're going to stay alive and force a game 3. We'll be right back.
Actually, I think they get him regardless. Blink Fissure is all they need. Blink, Enchant, Chrissy, taking a ton of damage. That point booster normally very helpful for surviving. Chrissy's going to get silenced immediately. Defensive swap has to be used. TP's going to come in right now as well.
They waited way too long. He's going to go down anyways. Now the Clinks in the front line is doing a lot of damage. Timbersaur's back and looking to chase on down the Witch Doctor. Coconut's bouncing around. Ninja Boogie's trapped in the backlines. We brought down by Undying. Zombies, fissures, everything working against him. And now Timbersaur redeems himself from his previous misplays. He gets pushing out another lane. They have someone who could just push out a problematic lane and then TP in to join the team. Whoa, big blink, Echo Slam, Fissure doesn't get the follow-up. Hit the totem though, and Rave get blown to smithereens.